Hi, it's Thomas D here of GasWorld, live at our North America CO2 Summit, and it's that time of the year where we go through our editors' picks, and I've been joined by Rob Cockerill. Thanks for joining me, Rob. So, your first pick for the last quarter, what is it?
Yeah, a pleasure as always. Thanks, Tom. I'm conscious it's just before the end of this quarter, and actually here at the summit tomorrow, I'm sure we're going to hear a whole load of stories that could have been the editor's picks. But we've gone early. We're going to see what these are. So my first choice is from July, I believe, and here we're talking about argon, and this is Airgas, an Air Liquide company, revealing that they've expanded their storage capacity in the US with 2 argon nodes, I believe they've called it, one in Ohio, one in New York. And I've chosen this because we don't hear too much about argon apart from the tight supply in the market. Ironically, we're at a CO2 event where we're always talking about tight supply. But yeah, this is really interesting. I think we've heard a lot ourselves on GasWorld TV about the future demand for argon and how we need to ensure we've not got any gaps in that supply chain. And here we hear about added storage capacity. So really important. I think it's an interesting story to go forward.
And a timely story given what we heard about the future of argon just recently.
Yep, to do with the Inflation Reduction Act and the whole energy transition. Yeah, we're going to see that demand go up. We need to ensure we've got the supply chain to match, and stories like this can only help.
Absolutely. So that's your first pick. How about your second pick?
Yeah, so second pick, Tom. I've decided to head to Eastern Europe for this one. It's a feel-good story, and we all know over the last 12 months or more, we've had quite a lot of depressing news, quite sad news coming from Eastern Europe and Ukraine in particular. So I've gone for a much brighter story here. It's about a new ASU in Eastern Europe. It's a joint venture between SIAD Group and the SOL Group, two long-held Italian innovators in the industrial gases business, and they are expanding liquid gas supply in the region. I think that's, like I said, a nice bright story to be emerging from the region.
A great feel-good story there. And your third and final pick for the quarter?
Yeah, my third and final pick. Can't really avoid this one. It's a complex story and we probably can't get into too much of the detail, but it's actually from earlier this month. We heard about a lawsuit being filed to do with the sale of the Federal Helium System. Once again, it's helium in the headlines. It will be again next month at our Helium Super Summit in Texas. But yeah, this story, we've been hearing about the BLM wind down and the sale of the assets for so long, so many years in fact. And now this looks to be another potential delay with this lawsuit that's been filed. And I think it's all to do with the security of the supply coming from those assets, and there's some very tangible reasons for that lawsuit. So yeah, it's one of our most read stories. I think our most read story this month in September so far. One of the most read stories of the quarter, and huge ramifications. I couldn't not choose it.
And we'll no doubt be covering that story continually until it's resolved.
Yeah, absolutely. We certainly will. And as we said, next month in Houston for our Helium Super Summit 2023, we're going to get into all of the fundamentals behind that global helium supply chain.
Absolutely. So an event not to be missed. You can keep up to date with all the latest industrial gas news as well as those stories from the last quarter on gasworld.com.